Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Sunday morning. It's bright and early. Daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I got a bunch of new subscribers this week. I do life coaching. Mainly on this channel, I like to talk about mind, body, and soul programming, mindset, training, how to get ourselves stronger, how to be better men, better people. Every Sunday, I do a study group for warriors. The warriors are the hardcore motherfuckers that need a little bit of extra knowledge, more things to think about. A lot of people, most people, don't really need this. This video, every Sunday, is really just for a minority of hardcore motherfuckers that are out there. Not everybody really is interested in knowledge 7 days a week. Some people just want it in little tiny drops, just a little eyedropper full, just a little bit of knowledge every once in a while in a blue moon. On this channel, we try to spit game every single day. We try to learn every single day. Let's just get into it. I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. Anybody who follows this channel knows that. I got a poster in my office of Johnny Cash. I got a couple different Johnny Cash t-shirts. I like his music. So today we're going to go over 6 different quotes from Johnny Cash, and we're going to hash them out. Some of these are from his music, and some of these are just from some of his interviews, and I pulled this from some of my studies, and I just thought it would be fun to go over some Johnny Cash quotes. The first one is, all your life, you will be faced with a choice. You can choose love or hate. I choose love. Love and hate are choices. Some people like to cop out and think that love and hate is some sort of natural curse, natural phenomenon. You're just naturally a hateful person. I'm just naturally a loving person. No, you're not. There's nothing natural about it. You have to choose to be that way. You have to choose to be loving. We're born into original sin. Go watch toddlers. They're nasty little jerks. You have to learn how to be a good person, and you have to choose it every single goddamn day. Some people just go through life going through the motions. They don't even pay attention. Ask yourself in every moment, is this an act of love? Is this a thought of love? If it's not, don't think it. Don't do it. Let's go on to the next one. When God forgave me, I figured I'd better do it too. I kind of like that one. When God forgave me, I figured I'd better do it too. So we all know that God forgives. God forgives you for all that shit you did. The torture, the mental guilt that you feel is not from God. It's not being imposed onto you. It's within you. That's your own conscience. Our conscience can be heavy. I know mine is. A lot of people seek forgiveness from God. Whether it's manipulation because they want a ticket into heaven, or whether it's just that they feel bad about themselves and they think that that kind of forgiveness is going to cleanse them. It truly comes when you start to forgive others and forgive yourself. So if you can be lucky enough to have a conversation with God, to reach that point of silence of your mind. There's messages being sent to you all the time, but you got to silence the mind to hear them. If you can get to that point and realize your forgiveness, because it's there for you, so you realize it. You don't create it. You realize it and you can accept it. But once you do, you have entered a bond, a pact. Forgiveness is a two-way street. You can't just go one direction on it. You can't just be forgiven and not forgive others. It doesn't work that way. You don't get forgiven if you still hold grudges against other people in your life. You have to forgive. Let's go to the next one. If you aren't going to say exactly how and what you feel, you might as well not say anything at all. A lot of people don't really speak from the heart. A lot of people speak niceties, you know, like it's a bunch of fake bullshit coming out of their mouth, and they just say this shit in order to make you happy. People aren't really authentic anymore. They're fake. You're not really saying what you feel and how you feel and what you think and how you think. You're not really expressing who you truly are, even though so many people desperately want to be taken as individuals. You're not an individual if you're holding back, acting like a fraud, and that's what you are when you don't say how you feel and say what's going on in your mind, and when you're not honest, when you filter it out, you become fake. What's the point of talking nonsense? What's the point of saying useless things? Having conversations that aren't deep. I like deep conversations. I can't stand, what do they call it? Like that water cooler kind of talk, that nonsensical, so how's the weather? You know, how are the wife and kids? Let's talk about real shit, man. Deep things. Important stuff that can change the universe, change the world, that can change us. Let's have deep conversations. Forget the bullshit. So many of you live your entire lives in bullshit. You should just shut up. Here's a line from a song, one of my favorite Johnny Cash songs. Because you were mine, I walked the line. I love that song, I Walk the Line. I think different people can have different meanings of it. This is very obviously a quote about love. Because you are mine, I walk the line. And that's something that I have failed to do in relationships. At least in the past. I was engaged to a woman that I thought was my dream girl. I thought she was everything. I worshipped her. That was one of my big mistakes. You never worship a woman. Never pedestalize anyone. You don't worship false idols. But I didn't have this concept of walking the line because you are mine. I didn't think that in order to keep you, I need to curb my behavior. I need to be cool with some of my activity and my actions if I want this relationship to stay whole, to stay together. I lost my fiance mainly because I was a gang member. I was getting arrested too much. I was broke all the time. I refused to work. I would rather rob than work, rather go on robbery sprees. I thought that was fine. And I'm a good-looking dude, and I'm nice, and it just wasn't enough. She wanted a real man, not some chump in the streets, and I didn't understand that. I could have very easily curbed my behavior. I could have walked the line and said, I'm doing this. I'm gonna stay out of the streets because I love you, but I didn't. This isn't from a song, it's a good quote from Johnny Cash, and Johnny Cash was a wise dude. He said, there's no way around grief and loss. Just a simple statement, there's no way around it. A lot of people spend their entire lives avoiding it. A lot of you shut-ins and self-isolators, people that just stay in the house all day, you think you're avoiding grief and loss. You're not. You're not going to avoid grief and loss. Now, I'm not dooming you to a life of misery. It's your job to figure out how to deal with that crap. People are going to leave you. You're going to deal with loss. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose your dog. You're going to go through loss repeatedly. Then you're going to lose yourself. We have the greatest loss is when we die. How do you handle your own death? You clutch to life. Every time someone dies, every time something leaves your life, do you clutch to it? Can you let things flow? Like you're an empty vessel and water can flow in and out. The last one. I like this quote. The beast in me is caged by frail and fragile bars. These are Johnny Cash quotes, Johnny Cash wisdom. The beast in me is caged with frail and fragile bars. Now, I was surprised to come across this line because I didn't realize that Johnny Cash was so slick with his knowledge that he actually had an understanding of this. This references Freud, Jung, classical psychology of that monster within. Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot. We all have a monster within us. And it's your job to keep that monster caged, but you don't keep the monster caged so tight to where it can never get out. You need to be able to control your monster. You need to be able to let that sucker out every once in a while and run and go and do what monsters do, but it's a controlled rage, a controlled energy. It's aggression, it's force, it's power, it's dominance. It's war. But you want to control that beast. We all have that war inside our head. Remember, Suicidal Tendencies used to have that song, War Inside My Head, great old song. You win the war by developing a relationship with that monster, with that beast inside your head. And this can also be taken as a threat. Don't take my kindness for weakness. All you little suckers out there running your mouth on my fucking videos. Don't take my kindness for weakness. It's all food for thought. Happy Sunday.